All right, everybody, we're recording, and today we're going to be doing a review, a very in-depth review on the Kawasaki Z1000. Now, this bike is just phenomenal. I'm going to read you a couple of reviews real quick, but let's start off with the phenomenal motor. This motor is a 1043cc engine, very powerful. This thing will pull from first gear, second gear, third gear. Notice right here, if you look closely, there's 6 gears. Just a awesome bike. It is liquid cooled, it is fuel injected, and what we're going to do now, let's read you a couple of reviews here, and let's go to my browser and check this out, and then we're going to get on and I'm going to show you on this beautiful California day how this thing operates on the twisties, how it operates on the freeway. We're going to get on the freeway next, so you'll see some high-speed riding. But check this out. Motorcycle Magazine said about this 2010 Kawasaki Z1000, with an open road ahead of us, feeding in a handful of throttle, elicited even bigger grins. It pulls strongly from anywhere in the seemingly lumpless power band. That's what we were talking about. This power band is just phenomenal. Compared to the old Z, it has more power from top to bottom. This also is electronically fuel injected. We're going to talk to you about that. Look what Superbike magazine said. And this literally is a super bike, but a super semi-naked sports bike. So out here in California, you see how we have limited fairings. You'll like that out here in California because it gets so hot, you want your motorcycle to be able to breathe and run coolly, a lot more cool than other motorcycles that we've ridden on in California when they have fairings on them. So let's see what Superbike magazine said about it. The Z1 now uses its very own, we talked about that motor, 1043cc liquid-cooled inline 4 engine. Also, I forgot to tell you, it has 4 valves per cylinder. 4 valves per cylinder. We're going to show you the exhaust right now in a moment, too. See what else we can say, and then we'll just get on. MCN magazine said this: the 2010 Z1000 is the most impressive sports naked ever to roll out of Japan. It has excellent performance, we're going to show you this, handling, and is super stylish to boot. It's less intimidating and easier to ride than a fire-breathing European super naked too. And that's one thing I noticed when I got on it, how smooth the motor is. Very powerful, but very smooth. And notice they have the Ninja logo here. One more review, and then we're going to get on. Motorcycles.about said it was punchy, involving, and more agile than its bulk suggests, with brakes that were up to the task of undoing the speed brought on by the power plant. So what we're going to do, we're going to shut this off because sometimes when I'm recording, I'll get feedback. We have these special gloves that have digitized index fingers so I can operate the phone. So this is just phenomenal, this motorcycle. One thing I wanted to show you real quick is this is not the stock windscreen. The stock windscreen really is like cut right here, and it gives it a like Darth Vader type look to it. Excuse me, Darth Vader type Luke. Talk about a Freudian slip. But what I did is I put on this zero gravity windscreen, and notice how, I want to show you something, notice how it goes like this and then it curves up away from the rider, and it just gives it, look at this phenomenal look. I get so many compliments on the bike. They're like, what type of motorcycle is that? So let's get on, and right when you get on, you notice that compared to other motorcycles, it's a taller bike. Now I'm about like 5'11", maybe 6 feet, with depending what shoes I have. But notice my feet are firmly planted on the ground. But other bikes that you get on, other sport bikes, you'll notice you're able to even have more bend to your legs. So this is more of a taller motorcycle, and these pegs right here, the pegs, notice they're very up high right here. This one is sporting the Akrapovic exhaust. Let's see if I can give you a few revs of this puppy. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get on the freeway and we're going to cover everything on the motorcycle. We're going to cover braking, acceleration, handling, visor closed. Let's make sure we're still recording. We are, good deal. So what I have found is it seems very light, very, very light. This is a true 150 mile per hour motorcycle, but it just very, very light. And you'll find that the torque, in other words, the power is at all gears. There's no gear where you're like, man, I got a downshift to get more power from it. It is a true 1043 cc motor. Now we're getting on the freeway right here, and while we wait, check it out. We have the throttle here, the ever faithful kill switch here, starter here. Under this bridge here will be the freeway to our left. This is just a novelty thing that we put on the eject button. What's really interesting about this too, and here's our freeway, so I'll show you something while we're waiting. This right here is adjustable. You can adjust it like this. There's the clock. If you look closely here, make sure you have this on full screen. Watch this, the tach. You have the digital tach. It does have a fuel gauge. I had an R1 before this bike, and the R1 did not have a fuel gauge. You kind of just have to use the odometer. So listen to this as we go through the tunnel here. So we're going to get on a little bit as soon as traffic opens up. Now, one thing I've noticed is it rides a little bit high on the tach. It's not down there at 3,000 or 4,000 RPMs. It likes to rev a little higher, and I think that's why you always have that power on hand. Watch. We're going to get up to 6. We are allowed to go in the carpool lane here, so we're going to do that. And let's take you all the way up to 6, and now we're all the way up to 6. Now this I want you to see. Notice it's about 71 miles per hour at 5,000 RPMs, now 70 in 6 gear. Now when I had the R1, it'd be like around 4,000, 3,000 RPMs in 6 gear. But I like it. I like that this bike revs just a little bit higher. It's a perfect balance for freeway riding. Like, check this out. This is 6 gear. It's just phenomenal with power. And with the inline 4 motor, very, very smooth. You don't feel like it's you know, shaking you off the motorcycle, or the acceleration is unrefined. No, the acceleration very professionally done. Notice 6 gear. Very, very good acceleration. Now, freeway riding, very comfortable. I've taken this to the beach. I've taken this to Los Angeles. One of the videos, as a matter of fact, I want to tell you, after this video click the link below this video. I took this motorcycle to the most dangerous high crime area in the largest city in the United States, Los Angeles, as far as the largest collection of like homeless people. And we had taken this motorcycle to Skid Row. Now we're going to be getting off the motorcycle and taking this to the twisties right now. We're going to do a little bit of street riding also, but notice the handlebars. These handlebars are not where you're leaned straight up, like this is standing like straight up right here, sitting straight up. So you see you get like a little more wind, but they're not raked forward like this either. They're perfect. They're just slightly leaned forward. I can kind of straighten my back for those long rides if I want to stretch, which is important. Let's get over here. Phenomenal handling, just amazing. But also, the way you are on this bike is you're slightly leaned forward. That's my favorite riding position. I don't want to be straight up, because as you're hitting different bumps, it's really bad for your back, your vertebrae and stuff. A lot of these Harley Davidson riders have that issue with their back from hitting straight up like that. Hey, take a look at this Porsche. So now what we're going to do, we're going to show you some handling. We're going to take you to what I call dead man's curves up here. Where I'm taking you, a lot of motorcycle riders crash because they're not familiar with the curves of the twisties up here. But let's see how this thing handles. Now, I'm going to take you through this off-ramp. Watch what happens here. I'm in 6. It has engine braking, so notice I'm not hitting the brake. And then I'll downshift to 5th. It says 30 miles per hour. We're going like 45. 4th, 3rd. Very high. I'm trying to lean it like that. Very high foot pegs. So we're going to be going left here, and we do have the green. So like I was saying, I went to Skid Row, and I filmed hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of homeless people. And, you know, we pray for them, of course, that they get back on their feet. But we had taken this to the highest crime area in Los Angeles. But for now, we're going to take it to one of the highest death and crashing areas, some of the most dangerous twisties that we have up here going up to these mountains. We should be there in a minute or two. Now what I'm going to do so this motorhome guy doesn't slow our progress down, because I want you to see how this thing just attacks the twisties. We're going to get over here. No, I thought that was a little island. We're going to let them pass. If this guy doesn't go left or right, this motorhome, we're going to let them pass, and I'm going to attack these twisties. Very high speed twisties. They're not no little 35, 40 miles per hour one. So he's not going to, let's pull over here. Little area made just for us. Plus I can show you something while we're waiting. So we're going to let them get some distance, because I want to show you something epic that this bike does. So notice we have the turn signal on. See that? A quick push in on 3. Watch, I'm going to push in. It stops at 1, 2, 3 and stops it. So let's get off a second. So notice when you're driving, you're riding the bike in the day, you'll have one light. Now I can flip it on and ride with the brights, but then you have 2 lights. I like that. It doesn't really put a drain. Like let's say you haven't ridden your motorcycle in a while. It doesn't really put a drain on it when you go to start it. You just have one light. You have these giant air ducts here, the radiators here. The front fork is fully adjustable. We're going to show you something over here. I'll always be honest with you. Kawasaki says that this is adjustable, the rear fork. Well, a lot of guys have challenges getting that rear fork adjusted. You really have to take it to the dealer. It's a little more challenging. So here we go. We're going to attack this after this truck goes by. Okay, let him get some distance. So the bike's very, very comfortable. No one's behind us, so we could do this. Well, he's catching up. Awesome! We lucked out. He's going right. See, way up there? So let's take you through the gears. Now, this bike, you're going to counter steer a lot. You will find that the faster you go, you're going to counter steer. So when I'm going to go left, I'll slightly push forward, apply pressure here, and then I'll slightly pull towards me here, and that kind of leans the bike into the corner. So if I want to go to the right, I pull back on the left just a little. See how I go to the right. If I want to go to the left, pull back on the right just a little, I go to the left. So ready for this? Watch how awesome this thing handles. Now what we're going to do for you, we're all the way up to 6th gear. Notice just tons of torque. We're going to cut to the left here on this corner. Just very predictable. It feels like it's planted. Like some bikes, you're taking corners and you just can't feel, like you can't kind of feel that front wheel. Here you can feel it. Now here's where it gets a little crazy. I want you to watch the sign on the right. See right here. So it says 45 miles per hour. We're going to come down to like 50-ish. Slow it down. Here's the sign right here on the right. We're going to have back and forth twisties, and it's just so easily, see it right here, just so easily to flip it into a corner. You really manipulate it more with the handlebars, like you're not doing a lot of leaning. Like right here, I'm going to pull back on the right now on 2, 1, 2, and a little push forward right here on the left, and see that takes us through. Now, remember what I said about it revving high? I like that. Remember, it's a 1043 motor, so it's not going to hurt the motor. It's built for that. But notice we're going at 59 and it's at 4 grand. And I don't know if you can see it, we're going downhill. Like we're... Hey, brother. So it's going downhill. Now, let's show you the braking. The review said the braking is... The brakes are very, very good. I do like the brakes also. I actually... Some bikes, when I go to brake, I have to actually concentrate, like to do it right. I've never really thought about braking on this motorcycle. You don't have to think of a certain way that's better than another way. Just, if you've ridden a motorcycle before, the brakes are very, easy to operate. So remember, we have engine braking. This is another thing I like. Notice I'm not braking even down here with my foot. Now I'm downshifting to 5th. Check out the tack. 4th, 3rd. Now I'm starting to brake just slightly, very light on the brakes. 2nd, a slight tap down, excuse me, from 2nd. Darn it, I hit it all the way to 1st. But a slight tap down from 2nd, as you guys know, will bring you to, let's go this way. Slight tap down from 2nd will bring you to neutral. So we're going to turn around and go back to the twisties at a more advanced pace. I'm going to have to find a place to turn around here. Really don't want to turn around the dirt. Let's see if there's any places for me to turn off. Remember, they were doing road work over here, so this is not really a safe place, but let's kind of signal that we're going right. It is dirt, darn it. That's what happens when you come out to these farm areas. Oh, nice. A pit bull's trying to attack me. So we're going to turn around here before we get attacked by the pit bull. The raging pit bull. Thanks, pit bull, for not attacking me. And his little buddy. Okay, ready? So, you know, I've had other sport bikes. This just seems lighter. It's like it has power, but it's not really a light bike, but it just seems lighter. And I'm going to tell you, they had like this all aluminum chassis. Here we go. And so it is lighter because of the aluminum chassis. Let's get on it. This is third. See, in going like 55 and third, it's like effortless. Now, just to show you something, we're going uphill, and normally I wouldn't do this, but just to show you the torque, we went all the way up to 6th, going up a steep hill, and notice it's fine. You get these lower displacement bikes like the 300s or 400s, and you start going up these steep hills, you're gonna have to downshift. This is why those reviews were saying basically in any gear you have power. I mean, to a degree, you know, you can't be going like 20 miles per hour and try, you know, being in third. But what they're saying is, right when you shift into it, that power's there. What else could we tell you? The fun factor is just amazingly fun. You don't get tired on this bike. Some bikes, you know, you get there and you're like, man, I feel like I walked there. I've ridden, you know, very long distances, and I don't find that I'm tired or sore on this bike. It has the stock seat on it, so some guys will put like a more comfortable seat, but it's adequate. But look at one-handed, you could just kind of go through the twisties. It has, now I'm going to downshift here because everyone's slowing down, and I would have to keep staying on the throttle to keep that 6 without bogging it down. But see where my knees are? It's very, very flickable. You just kind of put your knees together and it's perfect. It seems like it handles really good. Even you really can use your knees like to hang on. And then I don't know if I could show you this, but if you take a look at the tank, see how there's this lip here, it goes out. It's a big giant tank, and it goes out, so where you have this grip with your legs, where you can hold with your legs. Okay, so we're going all the way up to 6 again. Then we're going to do one more rocket launch on the freeway, but we're going to show you how it handles. There's an on-ramp coming up, and it's like a curved on-ramp. Watch how just steady acceleration going through it, very light. Even though you're on a 1043 motorcycle, it feels like you're on a little 300 or, you know, 250 Ninja or whatever, just very, very light. Also, if you're going riding with your buddies, this will keep up with anything, you know, like if you guys are going long distances, it doesn't crave for power like where you're, man, I wish I had more. Remember, it's a true 150 mile per hour motorcycle. Now, if you're going long distances a lot and you're using it for solely a long distance bike, I could see you getting even better gas mileage out of this by changing the sprocket to where you kind of have that 6th gear more like an overdrive gear. I like the way that it's geared, the stock gearing ratio. I love the way that it's geared because for where I ride out here in California, it's geared perfectly, you know, for the freeways and everything. What else could I tell you? The gear shift lever here, you know, the clutch lever right here on the left, I should say. Very easy to operate. Nothing real weird or funky with it. I'm going to show you down here. If you look down here, there's that little yellow Monster Energy boot that I put here. It's perfect. Okay, so here's the freeway. So what we're going to do, we're going to get on and we're going to launch and watch how we immediately get up to speed. Remember when I first started riding, I started, you know, people say start on a 250. Yeah, you start at 250, you feel like you're gonna die, because on the freeway, very, very dangerous out here in California. You have to get something with some meat on its bones. Look, very light. My foot's all the way down. All right, here we go. Well, watch how we get on this on-ramp. Getting on the on-ramps is not boring anymore. So watch, I'm going to go to 2nd. I'll even go to 3rd. And we're only going like 30 miles an hour. But I know we're going to be launching out of this thing. So I'll go up to 4th. See, I'm ready. I'm up to 4th even though I don't need to. But it doesn't bog down. I have that power. Remember, we're in 4th. Go. And now we're in 5th. And then in California, we can take the carpool lane. So we're in 6th. I'm sorry, 5th still. Now 6th. Very comfortable. Notice not getting a lot of wind. If you can see where my helmet's at. I don't know if you can see that. I don't really get a lot of wind. I think that's due to the zero gravity windscreen. But take a look at the 2010 Z1000. Take a look at it. I think you guys will love it. It's been my favorite motorcycle that I've ever had. Kawasaki, very, very reliable motorcycles. Notice we're at about a little over 5,000 RPMs going freeway speed. All right, let's show you a fast lane change. Let's see. Let's get over here. Not yet. Okay, here we go. Just effortless. Let's get in front of this dude. Very effortless acceleration. So I think you guys will like it. I give this 5 out of 5 stars. My highest rating.